but we're going to just spend this time talking about what ESUSA is and what we hope to be for all of our communities. So we're going to start today with some student serenades from member programs. And this happened as a part of our last symposium that we had, where we had people submit performances of their students so that we could play them all around. And the first one you're going to hear is from Project Music in Stamford, Connecticut. We hope that you enjoy.
Hi, my name is Ricky. I'm 11 years old and I play the alto saxophone. The piece you're about to hear is We Are Striving, which is a collective composition from the King Residency at CSTEMA 2022. The programs that were involved were King School, Project Music, Fort Kids, In Tempo, Rock Music, Peabody Institute, Tuned In Program, the Patterson Music Project, and Trenton Music Players. The CSTEMA residency was overall a fun experience for me because I got to meet other great musicians along the way and I got challenged by other difficult pieces.
Out comes the sun, in comes the showers, from golden light rays to gray and all cloudy. That's when I feel out my soul of power. I'll find the light, vibing with my people, sharing the shine. There is no evil. I'll find the light, vibing with my people, sharing the shine. There is no evil. Vibing with my people. There is no evil. Sometimes it rains and storms for hours. Out comes the sun and in comes the showers, from golden light rays to gray and all clouds. That's when I feel out my soul of power. I feel the light shining with my people, sharing the shine. There is no evil. I find the light, shining with my people, sharing the shine. There is no evil. Where my shine at? Vibing with my people. There is no evil. Where my shine at? My people. Where the shine at? Vibing with my people. I got my sprint back.
Oh man, that was amazing. Every time I see that, and I personally am very invested in that because I had students who were a part of that seminario, and Garrett Mendez and his team at Project Music with Gabrielle Molina, they do a great job of bringing folks together from the region. That King residency collects students from all over the East Coast to come together and to make this happen. And I actually remember this piece was started a year before while we were in COVID, just straight digitally. And the students met online for a week and they started creating some of these lines. And there's actually somewhere floating out on YouTube, I'll have to find it, the first performance of this piece in its digital version. And to hear it again, so much more orchestrated and fleshed out and parts changed, all decided by the students. So they had control of this thing that was originally created by other students, is just this amazing legacy towards ensemble playing and what our students can do with the skills. Each one of us here today have come to be affiliated with or connected with or have knowledge of Sistema for very different ways. And I came to Sistema as a professional music educator. I was a band director and that's what I knew my life was, but I was beginning to feel hollow because I couldn't give all of my students the same sort of joy that I experienced in music every day, whether it be with them or in other things that I was doing. I began to be worried about the 32nd chair euphonium player who, without the infrastructure of the public school band, had no other reason or no other outlet to play their instrument. And I wasn't doing enough as a teacher to give them those sorts of skills. I was teaching them to play the instrument. And I was so blessed that I happened to be friends with Dan Trahey and Garrett Mendez, and we worked in the Archipelago project together. And we ended up going to Venezuela, and I had what for me now, looking back, was a life-changing experience meeting Roberto Zambrano, who was working in Venezuela in the state of Portuguesa, and worked with his program. And what I saw was community invested in music making, not just the band, the orchestra, the choir director doing their job, because we have very committed people doing this, but there was a community who was invested in everyone making music. We had students there who had come back from university to participate in this festival that I was a part of. And they helped me out a lot because their English was significantly better than my Spanish. And they helped me get through rehearsals and lead these rehearsals. But I was so impressed that they felt responsibility because their local festival was going on. They needed to come back and continue to play these instruments at a very high level, even though they were studying other things in school. And that, to me, is what I realized I was missing in my teaching life. And so all of that has sort of led me here to where I think we're all committed to doing anything we can to give students the joy of music and using that as a vehicle to give them other choices in life, to empower them to make the choices that they seem to be needing to go in whatever direction they want to go, whether that be as a professional musician or if that's somebody doing something else, but learning to create and enjoy and express themselves in music making. So I hope you enjoyed that performance, and there are so many more for us to choose from. I do want you all to recognize everyone who is here, and I'd love to see where you all are from, because we all come to this community. This larger community that El Sistema USA represents is this: how do we connect with each other for the benefits of the youth in our community and what we're doing? And so we have communities within our ensembles, we have communities within our locale, but we are part of a larger community. All of us here today and the people who couldn't make it here with us, to say, we believe that there is more possibility in life, and we think that music is the way to do it. And so that's where we came with this theme, Bridge to Harmony. We are being the connector of all the things that people need in life to be better, whether that be musical excellence or concerns about equity, so that we can even get to musical excellence. And how can we use musical excellence to bring greater equity into the lives of all participants? And the great thing about all of our communities is that we all need something different. And so that's what El Sistema USA means for me. Yes, as a mission, as an organization, we support a nationwide movement of programs that are using music to create that necessary social change and musical change in their communities. We have over 140 member organizations with over 1,500 teaching artists, with over 20,000 students who are all working towards the same goal differently. And our job is to make sure that we provide them with whatever connection is necessary, whether that be to more access to music making or more access to critical social needs to make their life able to participate in more music making. And thus the circle continues. So today, we're going to continue to have this conversation about who we as an organization hope to be and who comprises our organization. And we're going to speak to students who are in our group to tell us about their experiences. And I'd like to, before we get there, yes, this is an informational meeting, but we also have the chance for you to participate in our $50,000 matching grant. We received a donation, and thank you for us to match up to $50,000. And with these funds, we're able to support our organizations across our community in North America and beyond to continue to do the work that they're doing. So we hope that you want to continue to participate in that match. And I would like to introduce from Sistema, Utah, Leute Langaaya, who will be telling us about her experience. And just know that she's missing class right now to do this for us. So without further ado, here's Leute.
Thank you for that introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Leute Langaaya. I'm a 12th grade student attending American Preparatory Academy in West Valley City, Utah. And I've been part of Sistema Utah for about 6 years. First and foremost, I want to thank Elizabeth Malthrop and the many others that are hosting this brunch, and for offering me the opportunity to speak on the impact Sistema has had on my life. I play the euphonium and have attended Sistema as a student, as a student brass instructor, meaning I've been on both sides of the educating line. Being given the opportunity to teach newer musicians and to learn from the more experienced musicians has truly expanded the passion I have for playing and knowing more about music. When working with younger students and helping them get started on the instrument, I learned more about how to build a solid foundation. I became acquainted with the fact that the way I learn doesn't always have the same effect for others as it did for me. And so I was able to shift my understanding to help better their acquisition and experience in music. All of the experience I have with teaching or conducting or composing music has come from opportunities given to me by Sistema Utah. That being said, Sistema has impacted me with knowledge of becoming a better musician. It has given me a safe space to learn without judgment, and it has tremendously spread the cognizance I've obtained for music. One of the opportunities I've been given through El Sistema USA was the chance to be a part of the Hear Her Song Commission, in which I participated in an ensemble that played music written by a living composer. That experience was eye-opening in respect to how the music portrayed a message. Being part of an arrangement where low instruments played higher melodies and higher instruments played the lower lines, the different normals in band were challenged. It gave me the chance to feel how different music could be interpreted. I'm sure I could speak for most of my peers when the difference of the arrangement was a higher level of difficulty than we were used to. But that gave the piece so much more room to bloom and become a song that meant something to not only those playing, but those listening. Another opportunity I was given through Sistema Utah and its director, Trina Christensen, was a chance to be a part of a week-long collective conservatory composition workshop, led by Dan Trehe, Mateen Milan, and Pete Tashjian. During this workshop, students composed the entirety of the piece that was performed. In that time, I was able to be a leader in helping students hone their skills and pinpoint their ideas. Through this process, I was blessed with the opportunity to be a part of the Tuned In program with the Peabody Conservatory. Within this program, I'm being aided by Dan Trehe, Mateen Milan, and many other people to specify my future in music and the technicalities of my music portfolio. With many of the events I've been a part of within Sistema Utah, there have been many instances in which myself and many of my peers contributed to the overall outcome. This added a personal aspect to the music and the way we as instrumentalists interpreted the pieces we played. Having a voice, especially as a younger musician, and being able to make a difference is extremely important in building confident and capable musicians. El Sistema has given opportunity after opportunity for students to have that platform and for them to be leaders among their peers. Being a younger musician surrounded by those with more experience can be intimidating, but participating in the events and symposiums put together by El Sistema USA build that confidence and that comfort in knowing one has a voice, a say in the matter. Going into the future and being presented with the role of leading with music or leading in a team won't come as difficult because of the experiences had with youth leadership within El Sistema USA. As well as youth leadership, the idea of being part of something bigger, of being part of different programs and national networks has benefited me and my peers with the introduction to the different styles of music and the different opportunities that are available. Collaborating with different programs has opened the door to new possibilities regarding not only our musical ability, but also our way of learning. Speaking from personal experience, after participating in a workshop that introduced me to different programs, I received countless amounts of help, advice, and teachings on how to get better from the individuals I've become acquainted with. So being able to build that connection through various collaborations and programs grants many opportunities for the newer or the more experienced students within El Sistema. Like I've said before, El Sistema has gifted not only myself, but many of its students with the chance to build their musical talent and understanding. Just here in Utah, we were able to participate in the Hear Her Song Commission, a collective conservatory composition workshop, a symposium that took place last year that had multiple student speakers, and a chance to be a part of the Tuned In program with the Peabody Conservatory. Each of these programs are involving individuals from far and wide, uniting everyone through music, and each of these have granted multiple occasions for students to voice their input and to be creative, as well as a circumstance to step up and be a leading figure among their peers. As a result of the different programs and the different collaborations, the students have grasped a greater knowledge of their potential and just how wide the vision of music can be. As a student myself, there have been many instances where I feel joyously overwhelmed by the outcome of participating in these different collaborations and being appointed to the many possibilities toward my future in music and with helping newer musicians. All of this I have El Sistema USA and its directors to thank for. It's truly an honor to be a part of El Sistema and to be able to teach and gain knowledge from the many amazing people involved. Next, you will be hearing from Emperatriz Hernandez.
Thank you for the introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Emperatriz Hernandez. I am a violist studying at the Peabody Conservatory of the Johns Hopkins University. My relationship with El Sistema began back in 2010 with the Youth Orchestra of Los Angeles, also known as YOLO. This program introduced me to the art form of music. Even to this day, speaking is not one of my strong suits, but through YOLO, I was able to develop a different way of communicating with people. The viola I was provided with opened up a new world for me, a world in which I can express myself without talking. I knew then that my career in music had only started. When the time came to apply for college, the first question that popped into my mind was, how is my family going to pay for this? The turmoil that began within myself was about the choice of going for a conservatory or searching for cheaper alternatives. For months, there was a hurdle placed in between what I wanted. The El Sistema USA scholarship removed that hurdle and allowed me to pursue a higher education without placing a financial burden on myself, and more importantly, on my family. El Sistema gave me the choice to study where I wanted to. As a senior in college, my next step is to attend a master's program in pursuit of viola pedagogy and later transition into a DMA program. Over the past 3 years, I developed a love for teaching, something that really did creep up on me by surprise. Currently, I teach at Orchids, which is the El Sistema group in Baltimore. Since I grew up in a similar program, I was able to assume the role from student to teacher very easily. This is the connection El Sistema is able to give their students in the program. I want to thank everyone for the opportunity that was presented to me and for the opportunity of speaking with all you guys today. Next, we will hear from a fellow California-based El Sistema program, the Santa Cruz Student Serenade.
Hi, my name is Jake.
Hi, my name is Jesus.
Hi, my name is Omar.
And we would like to introduce
Clave.
Awesome. Awesome. What a beautiful musical experience from our friends at Sistema Santa Cruz. We'd like to take a moment at this point in time to just recognize all the people who have moved El Sistema USA from where we once were to where we are now, on the precipice of really being able to make a connection for all of our community. So to all of you out there in our almost 100 people Zoom land and those who couldn't make it, thank you so much. We have former board members, former board directors who are here with us. We have people from programs who are no longer teaching. Everything that our entire community has done to continue to grow this movement and to create impact has led us to where we are now. And I'm so excited to welcome our new executive director, Elizabeth Malthrop, here to tell you about her vision for the El Sistema USA and how we are going to continue to impact the world. So Liz, welcome.
Thank you so much, Armand, for the warm welcome. And it's truly a pleasure to be here. I am bursting with joy with the number of people here in the room and the energy of our students and the passion of our leaders to know that there are people here from Congo to Venezuela, to Greece, to Canada, to all over the US. It's really amazing. And I'm really proud and honored to be in this position as leading El Sistema USA. And for those who don't know me, I've been running a nonprofit program, an El Sistema USA member, Patterson Music Project in Northern New Jersey for the past 10 years. And before that, I did some work running the Pisco music program in Pisco, Peru. As I settle into my new role, I've gotten to speak with more and more programs, both nationally and globally. And the more I see the potential for our field to make a systemic impact within our communities, not just our communities, but also the music education field as a whole. I spent the last few months thinking about what makes our field unique and what makes this organization unique. So first, for our field, El Sistema is unique because it sits at the intersection of so many different disciplines. As we know, the center is clearly music, but we work within the education system, community development, youth development, and we also operate within the structure of nonprofits. And as community partners, we are in the unique position to influence a variety of stakeholders. So the work that we do is so nuanced, it's challenging, and it's so much more than just music classes. And you could see that just from watching the King residency, the opening. There's so much more going on than just music. Second, as an organization, I believe that what makes El Sistema USA unique is our vision. And I was really struck by this when I first read this. The vision is to be a national voice for the intersection of equity and excellence in music education, with a focus on student agency and voice. Now, as a member, when I was running Patterson Music Project, I could say that ESUSA was explicitly centering equity and access within music education and was a leader in this work. Our programs have also developed best practices within student voice and challenged the boundaries of traditional music education models. Typical music education models center teachers and are more traditional, and our movement is flipping that model on its head by putting students in positions of leadership early on. So you'll see this year our values of equity, excellence, and youth voice on full display within our ESUSA programming. The theme of our upcoming El Sistema USA National Symposium, which we're proud to say is in person after 2 years, will be held at Butler University in March, and our theme is equity and excellence in music education. Our ESUSA webinars and virtual working groups for teachers, program directors, and CEOs provide a space for our teachers and leaders to share best practices so that our programs can have the best quality and be sustainable and be around for the next 10 years. Our discount programs with partners like Consalmer make it easier for organizations to provide instruments for free to students. And our partnerships with higher education institutions like Peabody Institute allow for our high-achieving students who want to go to school for music to have access to world-class, high-quality music education. And you heard from Maggie earlier today talking about her opportunity with the scholarship through ESUSA and Peabody. And this year, ESUSA is launching a Youth Ambassador Program, where a cohort of ESUSA high school students will participate in a paid fellowship where they will receive leadership training and prepare content for the symposium. They will then get to attend the symposium free of charge and be able to run the event alongside the symposium committee and other leaders in the field. Additionally, ESUSA hopes to be able to host regional festivals, also known as seminarios, like what you saw in the opening clip, to bring students together from across the country. A regional festival might sound like a fun weekend and a lighthearted event, and it certainly is, but it's also so much more than that. These can often be the single most impactful experiences for our young people, to be able to travel, to meet new people, to gain inspiration and motivation, to maybe visit a college campus and be part of something bigger. And that's the crux of ESUSA, is to be part of something bigger. Whether you're a student, you're a teacher or an administrator, we are part of a larger group of like-minded people, and we're propelling and amplifying our voice together. And as I mentioned before, we have the opportunity to think systemically. First, centering student voice is a form of systems change. Second, providing leadership opportunities to young people at an early age, we can provide pathways for young people not only to college, but to careers. Creating these pathways are important as the education system today faces a national teacher shortage, and our nonprofit field faces a lack of racial diversity in leadership. So ESUSA is uniquely positioned to provide tools and to coordinate our programs in order to leverage our collective impact. So I thank you so much for signing on today, for supporting our students, for championing our membership of 140 members, and for also believing in this national organization where we can lead the field and amplify our members' voices and impact. So now I actually have the distinct pleasure of introducing the premiere of our ESUSA video.
We're moving in a new direction in America, in the world, where the voices of the unheard are finally coming to the forefront. You know, I'm a product of a, single parent home. I'm a Black and Japanese 25-year-old dude, and I don't know if I would have had these experiences of believing in music if it wasn't for El Sistema.
El Sistema USA is unique in that we're thinking about the whole child in music education. We think about not only high quality music, but also about the community aspect, about following students for multiple years, about social change, about the nucleo environment, making sure that students have a safe place to be after school, access, as well as intensity of programming. Together, these ingredients not only make a great music program, but they also create profound impact for students and communities.
El Sistema USA is the largest and only national organization to explicitly center equity and excellence in music education field today. We have 140 programs across North America with 1,500 plus teachers in these programs and directly impacting 20,000 youth.
Excellence and equity in music education means that every person, child, adult, they have access and the right to participate in any music education that they so wish to do, whether that is in a choir, taking private lessons, being part of an orchestra, behind a computer, mixing some really cool beats. And that's the role of these El Sistema inspired programs.
Equity in music means, to me, creating aggressive access for students and families to have the choice of whether they want to make music possible in their lives. And by aggressive access, I mean not just the opening of the doors, but reaching out to our community members and seeing what they need to make it through that door.
Excellence is in the eye of the beholder, and young people come to the table fully artistic, fully excellent as they are, and it's our jobs as educators, as advocates and mentors to really cultivate that, to nurture that into however that manifests. That's excellence.
These large orchestras used to think that in order for them to make themselves relevant to the communities, they would just bring people into their world and tell them, oh, look at this is worth your while because we say it's beautiful. That model shifted a long time ago because now we have to understand that every community has its own voice. Every community has its own culture that needs to be celebrated. So when a program goes into a community, the best way they can do this is by understanding which is the culture that they're working with and how it relates to the music and the aesthetical canon that they're bringing to it.
The biggest inspiration for me about the El Sistema movement in the United States is the people. It's the administrators, it's the teachers, the students, parents, it's the community members, funders. It's everyone coming together to do something to fill a need that the communities we work with have asked for.
Having youth-inspired leadership at the core of what El Sistema USA is doing and what we are doing as a community in El Sistema is huge. Youth are the next generation, the next group of community advocates. They're the next leaders in politics, the next great musical artists. Shaping a world for young people without their voice and input is done in absolute error.
We didn't have a program for high schoolers. How could we make something that was meaningful for the high school students? And one of our program managers said, well, why don't we ask the students instead of trying to guess what we should do? And so we brought a number of the high school students together and asked them what we should do. And they wanted to create an honors ensemble, something where they could play harder music, something where they could be a part of the music selection process.
We were brainstorming of like things we'd want to do for this new group, and we just made up the idea of creating a new orchestra from like our previous members and also recruiting new kids from like our schools, and that's how the honors ensemble was made.
Guadalupe has auditioned for and been accepted into the Chicago Musical Pathways Initiative. She's a member of the Midwest Young Artists. She's a founding member and one of the student leaders for our honors ensemble. She's an amazing oboe player and one of the glues of our student communities.
Ravinia was this big opportunity for me. I know if I just signed up for like my school band program, my parents, they would have said no, because they would have been like, oh, it's too expensive, we don't have the money for it. But Ravinia really it changed their mind in a way, because it's like we want kids to learn music and play instruments without having to pay anything. And that was just like what really pushed them to be supportive of my musical studies.
The biggest reason to support the program is the students that we serve. These are students that historically have been left out of music education programs or opportunities. And it's programs across the country that are creating equitable access to education. And El Sistema inspired programs through the convening of El Sistema USA are doing that for over 20,000 young musicians in this country.
El Sistema USA is a very large network of organizations across the country, and we all look to each other for support. We reach out at conferences, webinars, regional meetings, different ways that we're able to connect and learn from each other on best practices of what's happening across the field in the country. The Youth Ambassador Program is an amazing new component of El Sistema USA. It brings together youth from across the country from El Sistema inspired programs and provides an opportunity for leadership, for learning, and promoting the amazing work that is happening in everybody's communities.
I've subbed in groups around New York City, including the New York City Ballet and the Brooklyn Chamber Orchestra. Currently, I'm a sub on Broadway for the show Wicked. El Sistema has helped me in my personal life and being a musician by showing me that I could make playing the trombone a professional career. But it has also shown me that there's a world of possibilities. It really opens this new chapter each year you're in the program to create new stories and a new life. Yeah.
That was amazing. Thank you all for being a part of that, seeing that video and seeing the energy behind what we're trying to do in those very succinct and thoughtful quotes. I was proud to be a part of that. And I'd like to just thank Genevieve Castellino and Bob Finkelstein as our videographer and camera person behind that. And thanks to Peter Campo for funding this video to make sure that there was this statement about who we are and who we hope to be that we can move forward and share with everyone else. So I'd like to, I don't know, you bring to the podium, I forget what we say in Zoom, but I'd like to highlight my good friend and colleague on the board, Monique Van Willen. She's going to take you through some information about our donor program, but she's an amazing person. She's a board member with me and somebody who I respect very much. So please welcome Monique.
Thank you so much, Armand. Wow, what a beautiful video. You know, watching this video reminded me why I joined this movement in the first place 10 years ago. It was really about youth voice. It was about cycles of change in communities and really making space for the voices and musical gifts of youth, the vehicle being music education. So thank you to all the speakers today. I'm the Director of Cultural Equity and Belonging at the New England Conservatory of Music. And my role at ESUSA USA is Vice Chair of the Board, and I fulfilled various other roles, such as Co-Chair of the Racial Diversity and Cultural Understanding Committee, the Strategic Planning Committee, Co-Chair of the Equity Center Pedagogy Working Group, and Co-Chair of the new Executive Director Search Committee. Today, you have heard from many voices and perspectives of our movement and met leaders and students who are deeply committed to our organization. I have mentored and played a support role for alumni in our movement. And what stands out to me is that regardless of what they have decided to do with their lives, they not only possess dedication and an ethos of hard work, but I'm consistently inspired by who they are as people. They are compassionate, they are dynamic, they are brave, they understand the importance of giving back to one's community. They are bold in their own ways and are often on a journey of being unafraid to really embrace who they are. These are the attributes that actually come from assets that the students embody and already possess, often cultivated by mentors and people in their lives, such as teaching artists, staff, and leaders in the ESUSA programs, in addition to experiences they participate in locally, regionally, and nationally. This is what we contribute to, an ecosystem of support with multiple layers of impact that the national movement and its people have on the individual lives of students and their communities. It is my privilege to ask you to make a financial investment to support our day-to-day operations. This is not just an investment in ESUSA USA, it is truly an investment in the larger mission of equity in music education nationally. Each person who donates and commits to a pledge becomes part of our family and owns a piece of this movement alongside the students, communities, and organizations we serve. Furthermore, today we have a very exciting matching opportunity where all gifts given today will be matched up to $50,000. So your gift will count double. Please help us reach our goal of raising $100,000 today. To ensure a stable future for our organization, we invite you to join the ESUSA USA Giving Society. Being part of the Giving Society means making a multi-year commitment that provides sustainability for ESUSA USA. Many of you here today are longtime supporters and have allowed for a small collective of ESUSA-inspired programs to flourish into a formidable national voice and movement. We thank you for your support and for all that you have made possible over the past few years. Actually, it has been 8 years in total in terms of ESUSA USA, so thank you for your support. If you have been inspired by what you've seen today, I certainly have, I ask you to consider joining me this morning as a member of our multi-year Giving Society. In order to make a pledge, you can follow the link in the Zoom chat box or visit ESUSAbrunch.org. Let's talk a bit about the giving levels. So there are 3 giving levels. The first giving level is a pledge of $1,000 per year for 3 years. Your gift would allow us to compensate one youth leader to participate in the National Youth Ambassador Cohort, where they will receive leadership training and curate and present content at the ESUSA National Symposium. The second giving level is a pledge of $5,000 for 3 years. You would allow us to provide a 1 full day professional development workshop for teaching artists on a topic such as social emotional learning and trauma-informed care. This would support many ELSA STEM member programs who may not be able to budget for these kinds of trainings for their teaching artists. The last level is a pledge of $10,000 for 3 years. This would fund a regional gathering of students from across multiple programs, also known as a seminarium. This gives students the opportunity to learn from peers, to travel, and feel like they are part of a larger community regionally and nationally. If you are joining me today as a member of the ELSA STEM USA Giving Society, I would like to personally thank you for your generous support. Although I started by introducing ELSA STEM USA's Giving Society, we know and respect that you may prefer to give it a different level, which is absolutely fine. And so we provide an option on the donation page for you to tell us if you would like to make a pledge or a one-time gift at any level. We truly appreciate whatever level of support you are able to provide. As you fill out the form, please know that whatever you give includes the gifts of your time, and we appreciate this. We sincerely appreciate your support for the students and organizations we serve. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Monique, and thank you all for being here. We are on the precipice of being able to continue and further the great work that is happening as ELSA STEM USA centers musical excellence and equity in all of our work. I'd like to thank you all for being here. Those of you that were able to sign up early were able to get these gooey boxes. Now my hands are all sticky, from the Taskin Bakery in New Jersey. Excuse me, we're very thankful for their partnership. Everyone else who is here from all over the world. I saw people posting out. I did want to make sure that we listed out that we have our friends from Sistema Venezuela here. Ronnie Morales and Andreas David Astacio Abreu are here with us, joining us, as well as I saw people from the Congo. It's amazing. But before we do anything, I'd love to make sure that we thank our students, Luete and Imperatriz for being here with us, for sharing your vision, for all the musical endeavors that were happening, the students from all over the country. You're the reason that we all do this work and that we believe in this work, because you're going to do something better with this world than is happening right now. So I really appreciate you being here. And I know that everybody is clapping hands and giving e-signals and all of those sorts of things. You're amazing, and we really believe in you. So thank you to all our donors, all of our old and new members to the Giving Society, and making sure that we thank all of the speakers who were here, all of my colleagues on the board, and all of my colleagues who are doing this work in their community. You are the people that make this all feel possible so that we can make this happen. And we really appreciate you being here. We wanted to share one more musical experience with you that'll also lead into a beautiful photo montage of the beautiful humans who populate our organizations. This is Roberto Zambrano, my mentor, my teacher, and my spark in ELSA STEM USA, and his program in Dallas with the Young Musicians Orchestra, providing the musical overlay for our closing with Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. Thank you all for being here.